Hey guys, welcome to Solo ReacTalk. Tonight I'm going to be reacting to the Temple Institute, Stellaris Invicta, Greater Terran Union, and I've been advised to watch the United Americas Commissariat and the European Commissariat before I begin with part 6. So part 6 will be next week Thursday, today or this evening, yeah. It's going to be the United Americas Commissariat and the European Commissariat. If you want to check out my playlist of reactions to Greater Terran Union, I'll put the card right up here. Just click on it and you'll be able to access them. Okay, let's start. Okay, the United Americas Commissariat. 3, 2, 1.
Attention citizens, the state banner of the Greater Terran Union and that of every other terrestrial commissariat is now available for purchase. You'll find a link in the description. The world has ended many times. The fall of the Bronze Age dynasties left desert wanderers in awe of ruined cities slowly lost beneath the sands. The collapse of the Roman Empire shaped a legacy that kings and emperors would aspire to for centuries. The Black Death covered Europe in the choking ash of countless charnel pits. But as science advanced and progress continued, the end of humanity was reduced from an ever-present reality to the fodder of fantasy and fiction. When the world ended again on February 17, 2090, mankind was not prepared. For the first time in their history, the people of the New World suffered equally with the Old. The greatest cities destroyed, their governments scattered, and their survival uncertain. Even when the war against the alien Terran was finally miraculously won, citizens of a once great nation looked upon their ruined works with doubt that such things might ever be achieved again. But from the ends of the earth, a new power had risen, and through suffering and hardship, it mobilized the will of mankind. Hundreds of millions toiled in anguish, but with their sacrifice, irradiated wastelands were cleansed, knowledge was preserved, and hope was restored. One by one, the great cities of America were rebuilt, and a new flag raised atop their highest skyscrapers. For 7 centuries, these flags have flown, and for 7 centuries, the citizens of the United Americas Commissariat have never feared that their world might end once more. When the Terran arrived in Earth's orbit, the former nations of North America, the United States, Canada, and Mexico, had been united for less than 30 years. The North American Commonwealth was something of an administrative debacle.
Okay, North American Commonwealth, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. Oh, I think I can imagine that happening. I don't know if Canadians want to be clumped up with Americans. I don't know if Mexicans want to be clumped up with Americans. I don't know if Americans want to be clumped up with Canadians and Mexicans. I don't know. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I mean, we have the European Union, so, why not?
Following its establishment in 2063, but had gradually emerged as the leading world hyperpower. It was the largest economy, maintained the largest navy and air force, and had the 4th largest population of any country on Earth. Debate has raged whether the Terran truly understood that the Commonwealth was likely the most formidable nation-state to resist them. Research conducted since the war has revealed the possibility that the Terran's strategy was far less coordinated than originally believed, and it is possible that they were unable to even conceptualize the nuances of human civilization. Regardless, North America suffered a disproportionate number of orbital attacks and landings in the opening few hours of the conflict. Before even the first alien creatures and machines set foot on the continent, much of the East Coast had been burning for weeks, and the Commonwealth was paralyzed. Within the first year of the war, the Mount Weather Emergency Operations Center, the Raven Rock Mountain Complex, and Commonwealth Aerospace Defense Command had all been destroyed. 3 successive presidents had been killed, and every branch of government completely devastated. In his final act of office hours before he too was killed, President Nathan Barlow, the last to serve the North American Commonwealth, issued an executive order granting a series of emergency powers to the armed forces. Executive Order 19,407 was a violation of the Commonwealth Constitution and challenged by competing successor governments established in Columbus, San Antonio, Kitchener, and Monterey. The order, however, merely reflected the realities across the continent. Emergency military governments became the only practical method of governance. By 2094, these emergency authorities had no civilian structure left to challenge them. The North American
I can understand where they're coming from with that final executive order by the president. Yeah, 3 presidents dead. 3 presidents dead. Their entire East Coast decimated. And that doesn't mean only like the former United States of American cities on the East Coast, also Canadian cities on the East Coast, if they should have any. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not well versed in the geography of Canada, but I'm assuming they also have cities on the East Coast of the continent. So yeah, utter chaos, utter destruction, military bases also being uprooted. And the Tyram, I don't think they really care about, this is the most powerful nation, that's the most powerful nation. Like, to them, seek and destroy, It's as simple as that. I think they will focus on things that are far more, prominent, like big cities and military installations. They will destroy them with personal dedication to it. But generally, everything else must just burn and be destroyed and be prepared to be converted into whatever they want it to be. Oh, they want to terraform the earth, right? So, yeah, I can see that happening.
The theater of the Tyram War has been immortalized in human history. Imagery of the Vancouver evacuation, the Jalisco offensive, the Dakota salient, and the liberation of Chicago quickly became iconic the world over. Less celebrated were the relief camps and sanctuary territories granted to house and protect the civilian population. The total number that perished from disease, starvation, and suicide has never been made public, and likely never will. It was only in the final weeks of the war that the impromptu international military coalition formed to resist the Tyram made its full presence known in North America. Commonwealth forces operating under this new command structure had routinely fought overseas, most notably in the Battle of Jeddah, and the sight of Chinese, Russian, Indian, and European soldiers fighting in the ruins of American cities was a noticeable reversal. Even in victory, the international military coalition was a point of contention across North America, as what remained of the Commonwealth was slowly integrated into the developing worldwide government. Marches and demonstrations protested the disintegration of American sovereignty. The Atlanta crisis was one of the many post-war conflicts fought across the planet, but infamous for its savagery. In 2153, the Greater Terran Union was ratified in North America by a slim majority, and the North American Commonwealth dissolved. The United American...
Okay. Now imagine they didn't win that vote, and the United... What is it called again? The United American government, before it became a commissariat. Imagine they didn't join the Greater Terran Union. There'd be 2 nation states on Earth now. And it would have been chaos. So I'm actually happy that they won. Even if it was by a slim majority, they won. And the Greater Terran Union became their government as well. So that was a good choice. Because we don't need different minds now, different voices going this way, going that way. We need to be focused on our mission. And that is to protect Earth, not protect America, not protect this or that. No, it's Earth alone. So I like this, that there was some contention, but in the end, cool minds, or cool heads, I should say, prevailed, and they decided to join in with the rest of the globe by making this government. So yeah.
Because Commissariat was formed in its place. It wasn't until the official declaration of the Greater Terran Union in 2156 that the UAC's borders were firmly established. As part of a worldwide reorganization, the former states of Mexico were transferred to the Central American Commissariat, while formerly Commonwealth overseas territories dating as far back to the Spanish-American War were likewise transferred to other newly established commissariats. Such territorial exchanges served clear logistical purposes, but were opposed by the American population and the first administration of the United Americas itself. It would take another century before anti-Union sentiment was completely eliminated. The destruction of the Statue of Liberty in 2164 by a pro-democracy group calling itself the Minutemen was the most infamous and last major act of terrorism ever to take place in the UAC. Being relegated to a sub-national territory within the Greater Terran Union was something of a cultural shock to the American people. The appointment in 2176 of Roman Loredo Ruiz to High Marshal of the Greater Terran Union, the first citizen of the UAC to hold the position, marked a turning point in North American integration. Dormant concepts such as manifest destiny and American exceptionalism were reappropriated and redefined to serve the needs of both the Commissariat and the Greater Terran Union. While the United Americas have never achieved the total hegemony exercised by its predecessor, it has become one of the most powerful commissariats within the GTU. It has one of the most technologically powerful economies in the Union, with its research corporations at or near the forefront of technological advances. Its main industries are highly diversified, leading the Union in telecommunications, electronics, pharmaceuticals, consumer goods, investment and banking, aerospace manufacturing, and information technology. While its military-industrial complex does not operate on the same scale as its competitors on Rodina, Sirius, or the Pan-Asian Commissariat, its level of sophistication is unmatched. Of the 19 models of aerospace interceptor utilized across Air and Fleet Command, 12 were first developed by United Americas state corporations. Furthermore, while still officially classified, it is rumored that the targeting array, coolant circulation chambers, and heat sinks installed on board the Sword of Terra were all designed within the UAC. The United Americas Commissariat's most widespread contribution to the Greater Terran Union, however, is undoubtedly its culture. The unique doctrines of the melting pot and multiculturalism developed in the former United States and Canada proved to be highly amenable to interstellar colonization. Combined with the large number of colonial charters issued to the UAC, hundreds of colonies across...
Okay, so after the end, well, virtually the end of the old world, because of the Terran, McDonald's and Coca-Cola still exist. Man, these are powerful companies. These are powerful companies. The end of the world and they are still here. In the beginning of the new world, they are here with us. What else is here with us? Huh? KFC? Oh gosh, okay.
The Greater Terran Union can be said to possess an American heritage. Conversely, the United Americas Commissariat has also traditionally been the most open to social and cultural change. Many of the first alien citizens to achieve permanent residence on Earth chose to reside within the UAC, and in 2549, the Commissariat appointed a non-human to its highest office. The government of the United Americas Commissariat is largely identical to that of the other terrestrial and interstellar commissariats. Local laws are predominantly superficial in nature, or have little impact on the life of an average citizen. The three branches of the Commissariat government are likewise modeled on that of the Greater Terran Union. Executive, legislative, and judiciary authority is held by the Office of the High Commissar, Assembly of the UAC, and the High Court of the UAC, respectively. Since 2167, the capital of the United Americas has been the city of Calgary, one of the only major urban centers to emerge from the Terran War relatively unscathed. While long since surpassed by the traditional centers of economic and industrial power across the continent, Calgary remains an important political and diplomatic center. Prior to galactic unification, it was the site of many interstellar consulates and diplomatic missions. The United Americas are unique within the Greater Terran Union as one of the few commissariats which operates their own defense forces. The United Americas Commissariat Guard is a unified institution consisting of sea, land, air, and space elements. By Union law, the UAC Guard cannot become a federal entity, while its personnel and equipment can be federalized during a national emergency. Multiple times during the wars against the Compact, Nex Uprising, and the War in Heaven, UAC Guard divisions have been placed under the command of GTU Land Force, Air, and Fleet Commands, and deployed to off-world battlefields. It has been more than 7 centuries since the flag of a sovereign American nation was raised, but the legacy of America endures. Each day in the Union Air and Space Museum, citizens from countless alien species stand in awe over the vast hull of the Ticonderoga, the first cruiser to open fire on the Algon Republic. Children sit in the cockpit of the F-408 Vampire, the fighter that beat the Vol Hive. But the longest lines are reserved for those artifacts that predate the Greater Terran Union itself. They are treated more like holy relics than historical exhibits, with some citizens traveling across the entire galaxy simply for the privilege of viewing the Unity connecting module and the mobile servicing system from the ancient ISS, the command module of Apollo 11, and the spacesuit worn by Neil Armstrong. It is a practice repeated across the continent, with endless pieces of American history given new context and purpose. North America was once part of what was called the New World, a place where the ancient cultures of Europe, Africa, Asia, and Oceania came together to build something wholly different, something uniquely American. In the Greater Terran Union today, there are 10,000 new worlds, giving common purpose to not a single species, but to many. It is a legacy that has spread across the Union, but its heart remains on Earth. It is a legacy that the United Americas Commissariat has inherited, and one to which it must forever strive to be worthy. If you would like to raise the flag of the United Americas Commissariat, or one of the other 16 terrestrial commissariats, they are now available for purchase on the newly relaunched Templin Institute store. You'll find a ton of products imported directly from the Greater Terran Union. Hats, jackets, mugs, alongside everything you'd need to outfit yourself as a field agent of the Templin Institute. Use offer code THUNDERSHARK for 10% off until November 30th. Links are in the description.
Yeah, guys, that was the United Americas Commissariat. You know, when you join a global organization, a super nation, if I can say that, you have to humble yourself. You have to understand that you're no longer special. You're no longer, the oasis in the desert, if I can say that. You are part of a collective. You are part of something bigger than you. And you have to be humble. You have to start thinking not as I, but as we. You have to start working as a team with everybody else across the world. You're no longer that one nation. No. You know, and I think it took time for the people within that, what was it called? The America's Commonwealth, America Commonwealth. It took them time to understand that, you know, we are no longer, you know, just us as a people, as America. We are now part of the GTU. So I'm actually quite happy that that was resolved, though it took a long time compared to other commissariats, I think, across the world. But eventually, through hard work, diplomacy, dedication, and also police and military services quelling these riots and terrorists and all these other kind of stuff, the GTU ultimately prevailed in forming and absorbing the former American Commonwealth. So yeah, that was very good of them to do. And yeah, guys, that's it for the United Americas Commissariat. The next one I'm going to be watching is the European Commissariat, and that will be on the next video. So you'll see it right here. Just click on it to go to the next one. Remember to give me a like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Also, click on the notification bell if you want to be up to date with my latest videos. And I will see you in the next video.